Hi, my name is Ashton Jenkins, and this is my self-introduction. So, I, like most people, was raised in a church home and went to church every Sunday morning and Wednesday night. I was a stereotypical church kid. I did Awanas and Cubbies and children's choir and all that kind of stuff. And I really just loved it. I was saved in 4th grade and just was crazy about God and the work that He was doing in His kingdom. I went on my first mission trip a year after I was saved, and it was just so fabulous. And then I got into middle school and I got into cheerleading and that whole world of the popularity and the guys that I date and that kind of stuff. And I began to define myself no longer by the things of God and that world of Bibles and the promises that we have in Him, but I began to define myself with what people thought about me, what they said about me, if I was pretty enough, or if I was smart enough, or if I had the best looking boyfriend, or if I did the best cheerleading moves, or if I was a captain on the cheer squad, whatever it was. I began to define myself by that. But at the same time, I was living this life of going to church every Sunday and Wednesday, knowing all the Bible verses and everything, and I really was struggling because I lived these two different lives. Well, at the same time, I had this really close group of friends. We were all public school students. I had 2 really best friends and then a couple of really good guy friends. 2 best girlfriends and a couple of really good guy friends. And we were inseparable because we all were going through the same thing. Well, I had dated one of the guys in our group of friends, and then we had broken up, and then 8th grade year, we started dating again. And then February of 2009, I got diagnosed with generalized epilepsy, which basically means that I have a seizure disorder where I lose control of my body and I shake uncontrollably, which is scary for an 8th grader who has planned out her entire life and figured out what she wants to look like. She wants to be a pretty Christian cheerleader who doesn't break any of the rules and has the perfect boyfriend and all that kind of stuff. And when the doctors told me I couldn't do things like cheerlead ever again, or ride roller coasters, or just have fun and play dirty backyard football, when they told me I couldn't do those things, I really struggled because those were things that I loved to do. And I began to question God and question, why me, God? Why would you give this to me? And I don't understand because I've done so much for you. And it was so cool because in those deep moments with Him, when I was just begging and pleading to understand why He had given me this terrible thing or a terrible disease that I thought, He showed me just how amazing this was of a gift, not a disease or whatever. Because it was like in those moments when I was really struggling with depression and really struggling with not understanding God's will for my life, He showed me that He's in control and He's got it. And He told me, you know, even when I don't understand it and I don't get why He's doing certain things, He has a will and He has a way. And I remember coming out the other side of that dark time in my life, knowing that God's got it and He's in control no matter what. And that it's not my job to try to figure out what His will is for my life. It's my job to trust Him and trust that He'll reveal it and trust that He will be the amazing God that He says He is. And because of that, my life has been lived in such a way that I can say, I don't always have the answers, but I know God does. And I have, to this day, made 2 Corinthians 1, 3, and 4 my life verse, which basically says, the first verse talks about how great God is, and the second verse talks about He gives us comfort when we are struggling so that later on we can comfort others.